first coming in last. Went to the bank, happy alive. Nigga fuck love, rather by rap. Nigga fuck love, rather by rap.
Well, here we go. We're locked in, baby. Episode 51. Woodcrest certified, baby, coming at you. Shout out to Austin joining us finally. Thank you for gracing us with your presence, bitch. I mean, bro. Good to see you.
White is right.
So, like, did you and Chris so happen to walk into LA Fitness with the intention to hoop together? You like just ran in there at the same time.
He was white and right, rhyme with one another, bro. That's crazy.
He was breaking equipment in there, so I came in and asked him to stop.
bro, that's like an that's an accurate representation of what was happening.
What the fuck were you doing?
Why are you breaking equipment, bro? Are you not? You strong ass motherfucker. You not experienced with the shit.
He's listening too much.
Stop cursing at me.
Freedom of speech, bro. Sorry.
I was on the bench press decline, and you know where you adjust where your legs are.
Yeah.
That shit is missing like a bolt. So I took the fucking screw out, and I was like, "Listen, we need a bolt," and the whole thing fell out.
That's some shit that only happens to Chris, bro. I promise you.
Like, I was trying to be helpful, but whatever.
You should sue them. I'll represent you.
Yeah.
So Austin came over and he's like, "Do you need any help, Negro?" And I was like, "Yeah."
I didn't say that.
All right, let's lock it in. All right, episode 51. We got jam packed with some topics here. One of the hottest topics right now in the group chat is Kyrie Irving and him being suspended by the Nets right now. As far as any latest news, he sat down with Adam Silver, I guess, this morning, and it was deemed a productive meeting. So whatever that means. But currently, the Nets have him suspended for at the very least 5 games, and he has to complete a list of like 6 agenda items that he has to do.
This motherfucker chores to do.
Yeah,
bro.
he has homework to do before he's able to come back to the team. So interesting.
He got to meet with the Jewish delegation.
Yeah. So
it's pretty wild.
What do you guys think?
Man, when people fuck up, like, you get punished, you get suspended, you pay a fine. I get all that shit. Like, you do dumb shit, you gotta suffer the consequences. That's normal. But then when I looked at the list, I'm like, who the fuck is these top guys that he got to meet with? Like, and
what?
And then in the black community, when people do dumb shit to us, do we have top 5 motherfuckers that they come to? Like, okay,
Steve Harvey,
Jay-Z, like,
got smoke with Snoop Dogg.
You know, like, you got to go through the trenches. Okay, he black enough to go back. Like, what the fuck? Like, that shit weird, bro. Like,
listen,
it's like, are they expecting him to like beg for forgiveness? Like, with all these different like,
exactly what they want, nigga.
Like, come on, bro. Like, are you for real?
They trying to hold Kyrie, man.
Yeah.
I feel like this consequence and this punishment is like excessive, for sure.
I think a lot of it has to do with his past.
Yeah.
The Alex Jones shit, Flat Earth shit, and like that he seems pretty unapologetic about some things.
Kyrie was involved with Alex Jones?
He just like shares some of his shit from back in the day because he's like a wild conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, but the Flat Earth shit, if he believe Earth is flat, what's the problem?
Well, he said that at first, and then he came back on. It's just like it's like a series of like this. I'm in the know, and you guys are dumb, and
yeah. But like, the fact that
get woke like me, and I'm smart, and I'm not going to apologize for knowing things that you guys don't know. That kind of shit.
The fact that he just posted some that's on Amazon.
Right.
Why people don't have static with Amazon? That's the weird shit too.
I don't get it.
Because
I saw the league like press Bezos about taking that shit off.
What did he say?
I mean, it was just a report.
Probably told him to fuck off. Like,
no, I mean, Bezos is trying to get the right to stream NBA games, so he's probably going to listen to them if they tell him to do some shit.
I don't think that thing's coming off, man.
That shit ain't coming off.
Yeah.
Like fuck, he's a multi-billionaire. Like fuck, he need to stream the NBA
Yeah.
for like
Because it's just more money.
I think
He-
he's probably doing them a favor too, in my opinion.
He's literally the second richest man in the world. Like, the fuck?
Hey man,
Like,
but you could always get richer.
That's true.
And Kyrie is a lakeside nigga, bro. He's stupid.
I wouldn't call
That-
him. I wouldn't call him stupid, man. I just think he's a free thinker, and I think a lot of people don't agree with his beliefs.
Mhm.
And it's so easy to say he's stupid, or it's so easy to say he's an idiot, or just because it's not the common way of thinking. In my
Like
opinion.
I respect your perspective for real. But like I honestly feel like a lot of these people we give them a pass because they're good at what they do. Like if Kyrie was at Mill Run, we would make fun of him.
Yeah.
yeah, but we not. The only difference I get that, but we not deplatforming motherfuckers for being stupid. Like we allow them to be stupid. We pick on them or whatever, but
He's not getting deplatformed. He's just
no. But I'm saying he
playing basketball.
losing money. He losing money for being stupid. Essentially, that's what Chris has said, right? He losing money, not being able to play games and stuff for being stupid.
No. I'm saying that was in regards to what Kenny was saying. In terms of this thing, like it probably is excessive. But like I don't know what this book says. I guess I got like a summary on it. I guess
It's
it was
not
like
a
the Night of
book.
the Holocaust or some shit.
It's like a movie thing.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was. I guess it was like some conspiracy theorists about how these people run the world and how the Holocaust is fake or whatever. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, that's not even actually what it's about either, too.
At all.
What
I mean,
is
that's
it about? Do you guys know?
They said how black. It's like from Hebrews to Negroes. Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
Right. But they said that in. They're saying that in
Heroes?
Hebrews
Hebrews to Negro.
is what he meant to say. Yeah.
Hebrews, nigga, Hebrews.
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 No,
That sounds mad progressive, bro.
No, but they said, listen. They said in the book or in the movie or whatever, like I guess they denied the Holocaust.
Yeah, that screenshot that everyone's like passing around is actually probably not what it's about. Like they're literally saying no one's denied. I heard that no one actually denied the Holocaust in that video at all. Like
I don't know. Have you seen it? I haven't seen it.
Watched it.
Have you seen it?
I haven't watched it, but I'm gonna watch it eventually.
Okay, so none of us have seen it, so I'm not going to argue about this shit.
Yeah.
Either way, they took it as whatever, and like I don't know, like I guess bigotry is bigotry. I don't know. So it's really hard for me to defend the guy. Like it's like it is what it is.
Well, what they was really arguing in the video from what, because there's a screenshot going around that everyone has probably seen that they're saying like, oh, okay, they denied the Holocaust. I'm also seeing that people that actually watched it are saying that there was no denial of the Holocaust. They were debating how much people were like, because I guess the Holocaust, they said like there was like 6 million people. I don't know the number. They were debating the number of people in the Holocaust. I really think it's way more. I think it's bigger than like what they're even talking about. Like no, I don't think Kyrie shared that to be like, oh, F the Jews. You know what I mean? Like I'm pretty sure because Kyrie believes like what's Kyrie? Like what's that? What is it? He's a
Isn't he
Hebrew.
Buddhist?
He's Muslim.
He's Muslim.
And Muslim have beef with the Jews.
Yeah, but I don't think this man posted that to spread like hate speech. You feel me? Like I feel like that's too like.
I mean, you guys, like again, I haven't seen it. I haven't done research about it. I don't really care. Like I really posted it because like Kyrie has like this behavior. He's just like he's one of these people. Like I get what you're saying that he's a free thinker, but I've met these type of people before. And this is not just liberals. Like I've met a lot of conservatives that think like this as well, where they're just like, I'm so smart. And they're constantly like just creating like waves. Mm-hmm. And they're not even like, they're not introducing things to have an intelligent conversation. They're just doing things to like poke at people. You know what I'm saying? I think it's fucking corny. And that's, to me, what Kyrie comes off as.
I kind of think like people are poking at him. In a totally different light. Like you could just let Kyrie be Kyrie, but it's more entertaining, and it's more like, how do you say it? Like, it's easier to be the one saying, "Hey, this guy's dumb," or "This guy's what he's saying is nonsense." You know what I mean? Like, that's how I feel. Like, I would, if I seen someone like that at Lakeside or in public, I'll just let the guy be like Pete said. Like, that's normally how
anyway,
I am, bro.
But listen, fuck that. That's not even the point that I was trying to make. What I'm saying is, like, based off of what you understand from like that concept that he was introducing, because like again, I haven't kept up with it. Like, what did you guys understand from it?
So I just looked it up while we were talking about it. So it's based off of a book, and pretty much the book says belief that certain people of color, including Black Americans, are the true descendants of the biblical Israelites. The film promotes beliefs commonly found among anti-Semitic and extremist factions. It says that including claims that modern Jews are imposters who stole the religious heritage of Black people and have engaged in a cover-up to prevent Black people from knowing their true identity. So that's like that's like 3 of the points of what the movie is about.
And I guess that's what Kanye was going on about as well, too, right? Like, that was like his thesis as well.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Kanye is kind of all over the place all the time, but yeah, it says this film deals with historical and genetic arguments about various racial and ethnic groups. It also includes extensive anti-Semitism, including claims of global Jewish conspiracy to oppress and defraud Black people, allegations that Jews are in part responsible for the transatlantic slave trade, and the claim that Jews falsified the history of the Holocaust in order to conceal their nature and protect their status and power. So
like, when I was reading it with like about Kanye, like I was like confused because he was saying like, I'm not. Was it him or was it Peterson who said that he can't? And I think Peterson was being sarcastic. When somebody said that he can't be racist because he can't be anti-Semitic.
I was being stupid, but in that sense, in the Semitic form, in the Webster Dictionary, how can you be anti something you are, which is wild in a way. But the difference between Jewish and the original Jews is 2 different things. That's the problem. But the Semitic people is people that is descendants of Arabs and Ethiopians, and then people that spoke Yoruba too. So what Kanye was saying, I'm not anti-Semitic. You could call me anti-Jewish, but I'm not anti-Semitic. If you want to make the difference in that case, you get what I'm saying. But that's what he was saying in that, and that's why I said what I said, and that's why I got that tattoo on the side of my face that say Elohim in Hebrew. But a lot of people misconstrue a lot of etymology matter, and that's why we try to use words wisely. So certain things that's said. And my problem with the whole Kyrie and Kanye shit, it's a lot of things like even Jeffrey Epstein, a lot of things that happened with him, banks didn't take money away from him. Like he didn't lose a lot of shit. So why is Kanye wild? Like sometimes I don't even know where to stand with Kanye, so I'm gonna throw him out the window. But even like Kyrie, why is it that like certain groups of people, and when I say certain groups, we all know what I'm talking about, but certain groups of people is almost allowed to almost do everything in a way free reign, almost, and they don't have to suffer the consequences the same way another group of people have to. That was my only thing with the Kyrie shit. Like 5 games for posting a clip, and it's on something that's generating billions, not even millions. We're past millions of dollars, billions of dollars. Like, why isn't he getting penalized for that shit if it's really anti-Semitic, like people claim? You get what I'm saying? Like, he should have been the first one getting dinged because you're allowing the platform where we could take stuff away off of certain stuff. We could stop the platforms for people that's spreading this hate. So why is it not off Amazon before Kyrie got to it?
Like, I guess the main difference is that like Amazon is the platform, and Kyrie is like going against the platforms. If that makes sense? Like the NBA is like its own private entity, and they could decide to distance themselves from Kyrie or Nike. Nike could be like, I'm not really feeling what you're saying, so I could distance myself from you.
They did
like
do
Amazon,
that. They canceled the
is
shoe
the
deal.
entity.
But
Like Amazon is the entity. You know what I mean?
Nike still process their shoes through Amazon, so that's still not an excuse in a way because they should stop doing that then.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
My understanding is they should have the same energy for Amazon that they have for Kyrie.
Boom.
Right.
If the crime, I've said this thousands of episodes ago, lying, but because there's only 51 episodes, but if the punishment was the same for two people based on like how egregious it is, then they'll be okay because it makes sense. At that point, it's a rule, not an exception. You get what I'm saying? Like a lot of these things, I feel like is exceptions versus rules.
I'll tell you. So I got two answers. The first one, which is probably the true answer, is that it's a lot easier to go after Kyrie than it is to go after Amazon. That's just what it is.
Yep.
Like Nike, like how much money does Nike lose publicly out speaking or speaking against Kyrie versus like speaking against Amazon? You know what I mean? That's probably the real thing. And then the second one, I don't even remember. I got lost in my own thought.
So then at that point, it's not a real problem. We just picking and choosing because we're angry at the moment based on.
So my second thing is, and I guess this goes to the free speech thing. So like a big contentious problem. Well, I'm saying big, but I'm exaggerating. Is like the books about like that say trans people in them or whatever, like talk about gay people. And how there's a huge push on the conservative side to try to get those removed from libraries and whatever. And the whole thing is like, I mean, it's fucking retarded. Like, you know, like if there's a book with a gay person, like why? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's pretty silly. Like if there's a book with a gay person, like you feel like you have to take it off your shelf because it's gonna expose your kid. Like that's stupid. But B, I guess this is the level of like where, like this is the line here. Where between Kyrie saying, "Hey, go check out this movie that I thought was,"
he
really
didn't say that,
which he didn't even.
I mean, he posted the link though, like on his page, right?
Regardless. Don't like this is not the point that I'm making. Kyrie said, "Hey, here's a link to a movie, whatever." Between that and Amazon giving access to the movie, like where is the line where free speech is being like denied?
Censored.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like where is that line at? And where's like our responsibility to keep irresponsible information out of the hands of the masses? You know what I mean?
it should start from the biggest. So you kind of agree with me in a way because it should start from the biggest motherfucker first,
right?
Versus because like why I understand the Kyrie stuff. This is where I completely agree with some of the punishment they gave him, right? Because if I do something, my little slow ass, I'm in Lake Nona in a little corner by myself. 99.99% of the world don't even know I exist, so it don't matter. If I go outside right now, I say fuck everybody, nobody's gonna hear it. It's gonna be quiet crickets. But if Kyrie says something, right, the whole world gonna have access to it because the internet made the world flat. But then Amazon is even bigger than him. Amazon made the world even more flat. You know what I'm saying? So the access to this information is even greater through them.
I would venture off to say, like, I'm curious at how many views that shit had, like, before Kyrie even posted this shit. Because I would be willing to bet a lot of money that Kyrie has more followers. That Kyrie has more followers on Instagram than that shit have views.
I read somewhere
This is the argument though. Like many more people seen it because of the reaction than Kyrie posted.
I think
if Kyrie just posted it, like maybe a couple people would have seen it. I'm pretty sure many of his followers would have looked at it and not even opened it.
Yeah.
The reaction is what caused people to actually like know what it was.
I think
but I actually wanted to circle back to the original point where you were saying we should start at the top, and I'm playing devil's advocate, but I kind of believe in what I'm saying. Is who makes the decisions off of who makes that decision?
Yeah, who punishes the top people?
Nobody.
Right, like
that and just in general though, like
the top people are doing the punishing.
The punishment came from the team owner, right? For the Nets, like how you can't hold.
Who do you think told him to make that punishment though?
I feel like he did that shit on his own after Kyrie like doubled down and like didn't really apologize initially.
I don't believe it.
But then like how you can't like hold Bezos accountable on the shit that Kyrie did essentially.
No billionaire owner is going to have the morality to punish his
like you can't punish Bezos the same way that like the Nets could punish Kyrie.
Honestly,
like, who's going to punish Bezos?
Yes, like, the fuck you can. The same way.
Who's going to do it? Who's
look. Let me answer. You gotta let me answer. The same way these corporations and these banks pull out from these people that push anti-Semitic rhetoric. The same way these banks can say, Bezos, you can't bank here. The same way these corporations say we're not putting our products on your platform because you're anti-Semitic.
But they won't do that because
you're not going to throw.
They won't do that because they got ties with them. They got ties with those same powerful people.
Absolutely.
But then now y'all starting to get the direction I'm going to. I knew y'all
feel like
I've been. I
feel like I've been got it. But like that's what I was saying. Like with the Jeffrey Epstein shit you brought up. That when that nigga went down, there was so many niggas tied to him. You didn't see like Trump was in videos with that nigga. They had mad politicians in the video with that nigga. Did any of them niggas go down? Nah, just one nigga.
His bitch did.
They fucking killed his ass.
Yeah, right? But that Jeffrey Epstein, like we're not really talking apples and apples. Like when it comes to this thing, right? Like I do think there's a distinct difference because, like I said, like if I have a library open and there was a book there that had a chapter about slavery actually being a good thing for Black people, right? Let's just say that was a hypothetical. Should I take the hit for that? If I'm the library and the book is in the library.
Because you know why you should take the hit? Once that information is out and we know your ass was the one who bought the book so everybody can have access to it, you should therefore be punished too. Like, once the information get out.
Because I think there's a huge difference between just allowing access and directly supporting something.
Nah,
you know what I mean?
Like let's just say you bought the book. Right, you put it in your library, but I read the book and I believe what's in the book, right? And I expose this information, and everybody come from my head. They want my head on the chopping block. Your head need to be right there with mine.
So let's take this a step further. When somebody puts hateful shit on YouTube, is it YouTube's fault?
But you know, with that, YouTube
flags that shit.
Yeah, or demonetize them or get rid of them and all that.
Right.
Because they don't agree with it.
Right. Yeah, no, that's true. Same thing with like Facebook and Twitter.
Jeff Bezos ain't taking that shit down, man.
But Peterson, what you're kind of arguing for is walking the lines of censorship.
Yeah.
Right. So it's
like that's my other thing was like
that's where people will push back and be like this information is wrong and hateful and et cetera, but
so what you just said,
you give them the power to ban one book. Where do they take that power and run with it to?
So I like that you just said that because I knew that was coming too. So why is Kyrie getting in trouble now?
The same reason Alex Jones getting in trouble for denying Sandy Hook.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
it's a bad look.
Now that's not apples to apples.
Regardless, though, like he because free speech is a thing. But it gets to a point, though, right? Like it gets to a point where you have a responsibility. You know what I mean? Where you're saying some like ridiculously irresponsible shit. You know what I mean?
Which I agree with you. Which I agree with you. Then now we just took two examples, right? Alex Jones, Kyrie. This motherfucker right here, Alex Jones, right? He was spreading hateful shit like a motherfucker. Say that shit was a hoax. All that shit. Families died. Kids is traumatized. Kyrie posted a link that was already there to somebody else shit.
No.
You get what
Kyrie
I'm
don't have
saying?
to pay $1 billion though.
Yeah, I was about to say Alex Jones is being rightfully punished.
Isn't he getting not able to play 5 games without pay?
All right, but we're talking about
Kyrie
we're
was
talking
ready
about
to
$1 billion
retire.
though.
Yeah, that's right.
And Kyrie
No, but
sat out like a whole basketball season already last year because I wanted to get vaccinated. Like he
was getting paid. You way too
No, he
surface
wasn't.
level. You way too surface level to what I'm saying though. Like he's still getting punished for this free speech that Chris just said again. Like that's just killing me. Like
yeah, it's free speech, but then like fucking Myers Leonard said some hateful shit, and he's not in the league anymore.
The point that Peterson I think is going with is that like he just posted like a link. He didn't even say anything hateful. Like honestly, like we don't even truly know. Like you can read some shit and take some, like you can watch a video, an informational video, and find some of it enlightening and then like not even agree with the rest of it. So like he could post this link and be like, there's some good information in here. And again, I have not seen this video. Please don't argue with me. I haven't seen this motherfucking video. I'm not planning to.
Watch it, Chris.
You're into movies, bro.
I'm not. But like, let's say that there was some Holocaust denying in there. Him posting the link doesn't necessarily mean that he agrees with the Holocaust denying. Maybe he agrees with some other shit in it.
That's what he said.
Right? Like, so there's that. I think that's the point that Peterson was making.
that's he did a whole post game interview where the dude asked him, so why would you post a link? He explains it. I watched the whole thing and I've seen the movie. But if we want to have this educational discussion, y'all gotta see it. But he explains everything, and the motherfucker still say, so why would you hate? Did you like, nigga, did you not hear the 10 minutes of what I just said?
Wait, time out. I've been so focused on one thing. I didn't even like go to another thing. So the whole concept is that the Jews stole the black people's identity.
That was like the thing that I said, yeah, and it was like,
isn't that hateful as fuck?
You guys gotta watch the video because I feel like.
No, wait, time out. Isn't that concept itself hateful as fuck?
What concept?
Mm-hmm.
The concept that white people took away an identity from an entire group of people. Isn't that hateful?
That cultural appropriation?
That have not happened in history before?
No, I'm not saying that it's not true, but I'm saying that like, if I'm a Jewish person and I feel like that's not true, like I would definitely think that shit was hateful, right?
Yeah, but if I'm a black Jew and it is true, the other end is hateful also.
There is black Jews.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
wait, you said if you were a black Jew, what do you mean?
Is black Jewish
people.
Yeah, no, but I hear you. But like, why does that mean? Like, it doesn't even matter.
It
right?
does.
Like, I'm saying, like, if I'm an Israelite and you're telling me that my whole identity is based off of stealing yours, I'd be deeply offended by that, and I think I'd be allowed to. No.
But if it's true, then certain people should be offended also. That's what I'm saying. Like,
but like we can't even determine if that's true though. Like that's, you know what I'm saying? Like the whole Sunni versus Shiite thing is the same thing. They both believe they're descendants of Abraham. And that's the same thing with the Jews. It's the same exact thing. So you got 3 people arguing the same thing. How do we prove which one is right?
History. Like, all
right, so you tell me. All right, cool. So you tell me who's the right descendant then? Who out of the 3 groups is right? You explain to me. We have no fucking idea.
You in that Afrocentric continent, and you don't expect these people to be black?
Okay, Peterson. No, Peterson. So explain to me. Out of the Jews, the Sunnis, and the Shiites, who are the true descendants of Abraham?
You in the Afrocentric continent.
Okay, cool. Explain.
Are they all black? Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you get that's literally what I'm saying.
And that's what the video is.
Come out. I acknowledge what you're saying. You're saying that Jews, if you come from, because I believe Israel's like right next to, like it's right under Turkey. Whatever.
Right in the Middle East.
What continent is Israel connected to? What
It's,
continent does it belong to?
Stay with your
Asia?
chest too.
I think it belongs to Asia.
Yeah, it's
Stay
like
with your
Asia.
chest,
It's
Chris.
like middle. I think it's Asia. It's like
Africa?
right above Saudi Arabia. It's like on
Yeah.
that same thing, like Gaia or whatever. What? Regardless. So out of the three groups, who's the correct descendant of Abraham?
I answered your question.
You did not give me an
I
answer.
did.
So out of the three, who is it? Is it the Sunnis? Is it the Shiites? Or is it the Jews?
The darkest people of every group.
Okay, so who's the darkest? So who's the darkest out of the three, Peterson?
Everybody that's dark in those three are the correct people. That's what I'm saying. You're not listening.
So they're killing each other. The Sunnis and the Shiites are all dark, and they're killing each other. So who's correct? You have no fucking idea.
I feel like watching
what I'm
Fox
saying.
News.
Like,
Yeah, like,
this is what I'm saying. Like you're saying like history, but these niggas have been killing each other for 2,000 years. Obviously, we have no idea who it is. Right?
So it's more. No, man, I'm not even, because I've done my research, so I can speak on my research.
And I'm just asking you to elaborate because I'm saying like this is a pretty like
because it goes.
There's been very few wars that have killed more people. You know what I mean? Like this is clearly some like a huge disagreement. So to tell me, well, all you got to do is look back in history, like, but like these niggas are obviously educated and they're still killing each other. You know what I mean?
But you expecting me to elaborate on something that for what the next 15 minutes that I've been researching for years? Like
it's not that. The thing is that I'm sure that you know a lot about this, but the fact that niggas have been dying for 2,000 years means that this is extremely complex.
No, but I was answering to what you said, right? You said if you was Jew, the agnostic Jews, which a lot of people, that was the argument I was trying to have with Austin real quick, right? Through text. The agnostic Jews, which is predominantly white in a dark continent, you said if they was Jewish and their whole identity is identified on stealing somebody else's identity, that's hate speech. Right?
The thing is that they sit on the same continent as Greece. Like Israel is right there next to Greece, and the people from Greece are white. Right?
I can't.
No, but like I mean, is it not true? Like they're all sitting on the Mediterranean. Like you're saying, like the fact that somebody from the Mediterranean is white is like some crazy concept, but that's it's true. Like there's
it's just like, but it's hard to speak on that. It's just like a lot of Brazilians. When you look at Brazil, right? Because this how I can explain it. What do you identify Brazilians as, right? All back. Soon as you hear Brazilian, what do you identify them as?
David, stop.
That ass.
Big old butt.
No, I'm talking about complexion. Complexion. I love fat ass Brazilians.
Can we not?
But,
we respect women on this podcast.
Let's go back. Yeah.
They are BBL, Brazilian butt lift. No, sorry.
What were you saying, Peterson?
What do you predominantly identify Brazilians as?
Tan a light mocha cream.
Mocha cream.
Normally, a lot of
butterscotch.
Normally, a lot of times you identify them due to televisions and the things that we see as lighter complexion. But Brazil is predominantly darker complexion. Predominantly. That's proven. That's facts. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of times when we see other people of different descents, dialects, and all that shit, we assume they're predominantly one way because of television that showed that. But that's not true. Like
Internet.
I hate this.
A lot of black people in the Dominican Republic.
Like,
there are. It's true.
They dark as hell over there, boy.
They do.
It's like that. Like I mean, I don't know. Like, 'cause it's like a whole like Israelite is a whole thing, and to say that you guys are all just a bunch of fucking liars, like I could see why they would be like, "Damn, bro, like chill the fuck out," you know, like.
But it's not saying you are. It's just saying like people.
I mean, that's kind of what it is.
No, it's not. It's saying that. What?
I was gonna say, or they're mad that black people are waking up and realizing the truth, and they want to suppress them
I don't know if that's sarcastic or not.
No, I mean, it's a
I
possibility,
did
right?
read that though.
If you're going far enough down this rabbit hole and this belief system that black people are the original Jews and their identities were taken from them by these white elite Jews of today, but I'm sure they don't want black people finding out the truth.
Let's not go that deep because that's even more complex. But
I know. I'm just saying. Can
we agree or disagree that a lot of things in the media nowadays, and I've seen so many interviews and read so many different, are whitewashed?
Yeah.
Right?
Like what? Like what's whitewash?
Just like the definition, the beauty standards a lot of times is whitewashed. Was pushed to the forefront.
No, absolutely. Like long straight hair, light complexion, 1,000%. You're correct.
And then now where a lot of people are starting to have what he said?
He said no ass.
I don't know, man. Times is changing, nigga. But
yeah. But what a lot of people, I feel like, more intellectual people of certain communities are starting to have an issue with. They feel like a lot of things now that's coming into the forefront is starting to be even more whitewashed. And I don't know if y'all even seen this lately. They talking about the next 40 years. It's like with music, again, blues, country, jazz, right? Was whitewashed. Again, they feel like hip hop going down the same trend too. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I understand the disconnect sometimes. Why people the frustration.
They whitewashing history books now too.
So like, all right. I'm gonna get to the nitty gritty of it. So like the reason, and I'm always skeptical about these conspiracy theories because I feel like I said, it's the niggas who believe these conspiracy theories are people from Mill Run. And people from Mill Run are fucking stupid. You know what I mean? But anyways.
Whoa, way to catch yourself there.
Yeah.
Are you yourself
the first time in 51 episodes.
I was gonna say stupid. So like the reason like Jews were never like the predominant group. Like Jews were, even in the Bible back then, like they had a really hard time. Hence like Jesus getting murdered. And that was true for the majority of their history. Even up until the 50s, like people still hated the Jews, hence the Holocaust. So like there was really like no benefit to being a Jew.
There's some beliefs amongst like the Jewish community that this has been like a pretty common race baiting tactic by some other, I don't know, religious group, elite, controlling group.
Let's say I am a
Jew.
Jews
and blacks against each other.
So let's say I am a Jew, right? Which is crazy because like in some places that's a real thing. Like up in like the Northeast, like there's a lot of contention between. Well, there's contention between everybody, but blacks and Jews have real problems against each other.
Yeah, Northeast Africa is like that too.
Yeah, 1,000. Because a lot of them in Northeast Africa are Muslim, and like Jews and they hate each other. But like for the majority of their history, like they've been subjugated. And you could say, well, back then they were black, and that's maybe you're true, maybe you're right. Again, like the only reason I brought up the Sunni and Shiite thing is because like even in history, like you could read through the history books and we're still confused. We don't know what it is. But like you can even go until now, and the white versions of these Jews are still like looked down upon. So it's like, why are they trying to deny black people their heritage? Like, let's say that I am a Jew and I believe in what the book says. Like, God is not going to be like, well, since God knows these things, right? Like, he's not going to be like, they're not going to trick God into getting them into heaven, right? Like, right?
But this is why I say it's hard to have a conversation because 90% of people in here is not going to understand. Because it's first, look, you got Abraham, then you got Shem. From Shem was the original Hebrew people. And in the biblical, like, in the Bible, literally, like, it's thousands of verses. The descendants of Shem was the chosen one. And through them and through Jesus, then that's how you'll be able to get through God. So the original Jews is gonna be like, I don't know. I wish Danny was here too, cause it's hard to, cause if you don't believe in religion, then it throws all that out the window.
It doesn't matter. Explain to us like if we did.
Because it's during Judgment Day, it's gonna be like 150,000 people that they use to judge everybody that ever touched this earth, right? And
I'm fucked.
No. That's who they're using to filter out the billions of people that ever touched this earth, right? And out of those 150,000, that's going to be the descendants of Abraham, Shem, then the Jewish people. So that's why a lot of people feel like they're attached themselves to this elite group of people because they're the chosen one. You get what I'm saying? Like, so in that sense, that's why in this world, it's been a lot of religious wars behind that. And a lot of people don't understand that's where a lot of those Constantines and Hannibal, all that came from that originally. Like a lot of the wars that we fought came from that originally, literally. A lot of these religious wars.
Hannibal's was in a religious war.
In a way it was, because he was part of that, because he thought he was a descendant of Shem.
Yeah, but he wasn't attacking the Romans because of that. He was attacking the Romans because he fucking hated them.
Which is true, but again, that's why I said he was, again, because, back then we wasn't as advanced mentally as we are now, right? This is the safest, the smartest, most technologically advanced era that we live in today. So being ignorant back then, thinking you was a chosen people, you felt like you had the right to do certain things. Like I had the right to rule over. I had the right to own this land. I had the right to have 100 wives. I had the right to do X, Y, and Z and continue to go from that original concept. Yeah. Abraham had 100 wives, even though God didn't agree with it, but he allowed it to be so because through him, his chosen people was going to come. But
damn.
Yeah, so it gets deeper than that once you understand the connections. That's all I was saying. Like, it gets way deeper than that. It gets way deeper than that surface level that everybody's like the 30 seconds that motherfuckers, or 3 minutes, or maybe even 10 minutes. Some people do 10-minute TikToks now that people see on there. It's not going to explain 2,000 years. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to make sense. Well over 2,000 years now. Like,
it's crazy because, like, I guess that's unrelated. Like, I guess, like, my issue, like, I'm gonna go even deeper to the root. Like, my issue is that I feel like this is strategic. Like, the way that you're attacking one problem, I'm on the other side attacking another problem. Like, what Austin said is what I think is happening. I think there's been a lot of highlights on race issues because they rather have us fighting each other.
Which is true. I agree. But that's why I said, like, I agree with a lot of what's going on, because it has to be a certain type of people at the top, because you need everybody below them, because they don't want to do what the fuck we're doing. You know,
we say, like, you're a descendant of this, but, like, that doesn't identify who you are, right? Like, a lot of people, especially here in America in the South, identify as Christians. They wouldn't even want to be Jews, right? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if being a descendant of Abraham would change who they identify as. You feel me? Like, and then I go to, like, Africa. And Africa, like, we think of Africa as, like, this, like, Africa is huge. You can fit almost every country in the world in Africa. Almost every single one.
Literally.
Like, there is no correlation between Angola and the Democratic of Congo. There's none. They speak completely different languages. They look completely different. Everything is different. When we think of Africa, we just think of a bunch of black people like starving Marvin. Like, it's not like that, right? So like, when people are like, well, if you're black, you're this, but it's like, black is so broad. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can be black and be this. You can be black and be Brazilian. You can be black and live in fucking Florida. You could be black and live in goddamn China. Like, it's so different. You know what I mean? And to be like, well, if you're black, you're automatically this. I feel like it's counterintuitive. And I first think of the motivation, and I struggle to find one. So my automatic is to go back and be like, this is just more race dividing. This is what it feels like.
Which is true, but the only thing that I don't solely agree on, and this shit took way longer than I expected because
he was like, "Oh, we're gonna have enough time. Like, are these topics gonna cover enough time here? Like, motherfucker, this took the entire episode."
Yes.
I just don't like. I don't like to speak on certain things that people are ignorant to because it's hard to. No. It ain't even about that because I'm ignorant to a lot of things, and I've said it on my own little shit. I'm right sometimes, I'm wrong a lot of times, but I'm human all the time. I've said that shit already.
That's a bar.
It's a hella bar. Drake, take that shit. But you know what I'm saying?
Heard that, David? Or did you write it down?
But what I don't like sometimes, which can be okay, I feel like, because people always need something to identify as, right? When we think of Asia or Asiatic people, or even the continent of Asia outside of Russia, we know what they look like, right? When we think of Europe, right, we know what they look like. When we think of North America outside of the U.S., we more than likely know what they look like. Central America, South America. When it comes to Africa, it seemed like, which that stems from back then, racism and slavery, all that. Why, when people want to identify in Africa as black, it seems like it has to be a problem then. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's not a problem because, like, what I'm saying is that
not
like,
from you, but I'm saying overall.
Like I'm saying, like, I don't think that's an issue. Like, I feel like you can identify, like, sure, but like the problem is where black is the only thing. That's where the problem is. Like, I mean, at least from my perspective. When you're just like, black is what you are, I feel like you're being counterintuitive to what we're trying to do.
That ain't
you know what I mean? And I'm not saying you're doing that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're doing that.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of us do. Where it's like, you're black, but like, what does that mean? It's just your skin color. Like, there's so much more to you than just being whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I understand what you're saying because I had somebody say something not too long ago. Why it always got to be about race? And I answered the best way I could. I say it's always about race because the people that look like you created the concept of race, the Dutch people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think like 1460, and from then on to now is literally always race. Like, the Little Mermaid, nigga, motherfuckers snapped that a fictional character was black.
And he'd be black.
That shit was fucking wild, bro. That's just wild.
Superman, niggas snapped, even though in the comic books they have a black Superman. Fucking 007, motherfuckers snapped that he was black. Black Panther.
There's a black one?
My nigga, like, no, like they wanted Idris Elba. They wanted
Idris Elba, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like everybody wants him to be fucking James Bond, and they're so mad, bro. Like, I seen James Bond on the moon shooting laser beams, like who gives a fuck if he's black? Like, you're telling me the black part is the unbelievable part?
They put lasers on the shark, my nigga.
Bro, like, yeah, that's just crazy. Like I feel you, bro.
The bad guy had a fucking mechanical jaw, my nigga. Like, it's not real.
That nigga car, bro. Like, they were able to accept all that shit. And as soon as they say Idris Elba might be James Bond, they're like, whoa, black.
Let's not get carried away.
The Rock in Fast and the Furious held the helicopter in one hand and the car in another hand. And niggas had no problem. That shit was hard. That shit was hard. But still, and I'm just like, why y'all get so mad? You know what I'm saying? So now, my issue, this is where I was going from the beginning. Why? It's a song. I think it's Glorilla. It's cool when they do it, but it ain't cool when not do it. Why, when black people want to say some shit, now motherfuckers feel some type of way, Kyrie?
Can I be devil's advocate here?
Yes.
And I promise you, Austin, I don't actually believe this, but the reasoning from other people that are not myself who does not believe this.
David's white too.
White people are mad at black people because white people don't have no culture. But again, that doesn't.
I taste the potato salad, man. Don't taste like
I
coconut.
knew he was going that direction too. Like, it's stupid. But and I say for the most part, and I've said this before, the common folk, all of us in here, the motherfuckers that don't have a voice that's as loud as these celebrities, we don't give a fuck. We just want to collect our money. We want to party, drink, smoke. Some of us do bullshit and live for the next day. Some of us maybe crack. I'm not a crackhead. I'm not.
Yeah, some of us
David.
sniff cocaine.
Oh shit!
We do.
What is that?
I do
crazy?
from time to time whenever I feel bad. But
Can I say one more thing? Because I know we're about to head off.
Yeah.
But yo, you know what's crazy? Like this nigga Kanye said, slavery was a choice. Didn't lose no endorsement.
That's what I'm saying. Like
He said,
Wait, time out. That's another thing I read in the group chat. Like when he said that, like what do you think he meant?
I know what he meant. He was trying to say that
talking about people's mentalities.
Yeah.
Right, like I don't think anybody took that as like a slur against black people. I think we're just like
there's a lot of people.
Not a slur, but just like a terrible.
There's a lot of people that didn't watch.
Picture.
There's a lot of people that didn't watch that interview that just said slavery was a choice and they rock with it. Like my own dad's at the crib talking about, you still rock with Kanye? Like this man didn't watch no interview, nothing, just seen this shit on CNN because it's clickbait.
I really do think, and again, I can't prove this, but I believe the majority of us kind of just wrote him off as being fucking crazy. Like I don't think anybody like really took him seriously. Yeah. Like nobody took like that like as a serious thing.
But he ran for president and got votes.
They took this man.
I don't think anybody really processed that as Kanye saying like black people showed up and they're like, "Hey, I'm ready to be a slave." Like I don't think anybody thought that.
I mean, but a lot of the black community found that shit offensive as fuck.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You can see that shit on Twitter. If you had a Twitter, you would know. They find that shit. I
got no Twitter.
I'm telling you, man.
I agree with Kenny. Why they should have been taking his shit away then, if they really felt that way about it. But I digress.
Well, when you say they should have taken,
no, I digress.
I would like to. I would like to address that.
I don't care no more. I don't care no more.
Oh, it kind of sounds like you do.
You know, I care the least. So when you say they should have taken, stuff away, the people that in that time that were presumed offended were black people. You think black people should have punished Kanye the way he's being punished now?
No, I think Nike should have. I think the same way Nike took away his Nike, not Nike, Adidas. The same way Adidas took away his shit. The same way, what was it? Chase Bank took away his shit.
Morgan Chase.
Whatever, you know what I mean?
They're involved in the drug trade.
They should have took away. They should have took away the nigga shit too. But what Kanye did was he offended niggas. There's Jewish niggas, like he said, that's running shit. He offended them niggas, and they took his shit right away.
You know what's crazy is that like I agree and I disagree with you. Like I agree that 1,000%. The same way I was telling Peterson that the reason these places don't really go after Amazon is because it's too expensive to do so. Like I really believe that. Regardless if they feel like it was right or wrong. Like they're just like, like, am I willing to lose all this money? God damn it. What was I saying?
You said that
you've been smoking? That happens to me when I smoke. I just be forgetting where I'm going.
Interrupted him, nigga.
What was he talking about? Kenny was talking about
how they should have took away all his shit then if they gave a fuck.
Okay. So like the Jewish community does have gigantic influence. Like that's not a conspiracy theory. That's just a fact. They have gigantic ties in these huge industries, and like these niggas are sensitive as fuck. Like you can't say nothing against them, right? Yeah. So I believe that is 100% true. But I also believe, like what David says, two things can be true at the same time. Like I really believe most of us. I don't think most people took offense to what he said. Like I really don't think people were like Kanye saying that black people made themselves slaves.
The black community took that shit offensive, bro.
They wasn't fucking with those comments.
They weren't fucking with it, bro. Like you still have black community to this day. Like when did he say that shit? When was the last time?
It was on a TMZ interview.
That was like
a while ago.
That was like
about
4
2 years
4
ago.
years ago.
2, 3, 3.
Like what did people in this group chat believe he said?
I was
Man.
irked. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was irked.
Like
I pretty much
how did you process that?
I thought that was a poor choice of words.
Yeah, I was like, damn, Kanye, why'd you say that?
I watched the full interview, so I knew what he was talking about. So I didn't get really offended about it. But I could see where a nigga takes something from an interview, just that alone, and I could see where people are like, "What the fuck? Why would he say that shit?" You know what I mean? I can understand that. You know what I mean? Especially those
really,
people.
Like if you're breaking this down and you're really telling me that Kanye believes that black people showed up and they're like, "Hey, I want to be a slave now." Like if you really try to explain that to me, I'm gonna look at you kind of funny.
But that's the same thing people are fucking doing with the Kyrie link. They're not watching the video. You're not watching.
Like we said in the beginning.
Right. You're taking the like the little chart these niggas put up for you.
No. Like, all right. So like again, context. Everything is context. So like pretend I didn't have any context. I didn't even understand. I only seen the little clip on. I don't have Twitter, so we're gonna use Facebook. You disgusting motherfucker. So I'm on Facebook. Listen. I'm on Facebook watching these little videos, and I see Kanye talking about slavery was a choice, right? Like, what's the thought process that happens in my head? Like, am I really believing? Am I really believing that this nigga said black people wanted to be slaves?
So, Devin Advocate, I love that you say that. You see the little link of Kyrie. What the fuck do you believe in?
That shit says Hebrews to Negroes. So
Heroes.
Right. So like from what again, like I explained to that thing is that a lot of people took that as I'm a white person and I took your identity. Like what the fuck? Like,
he didn't.
Right?
No. See, you like the way you explaining the Kanye than the Kyrie stuff. I feel like you're shifting mindsets, right?
Okay.
Kanye said black people chose to be slaves, essentially, in a way, right? Mm-hmm. Kyrie posts one shit. Both is sound bites. Both of them sound bites.
Yes.
This community not allowed to be mad because we don't honestly believe, right, that Kanye believed slavery was not a choice.
It's not even about what you believe; it's what he believes. Like if I read the Hebrews to Negroes thing, like what am I supposed to take from that? Like what am I supposed to take from that?
How do you feel about that right now?
Right, like after us discussing it, I'm like, white people took these people's identity.
No, before discussing it, because you talking about sound bites again.
I mean, that's what I felt like back then too. Like, I mean, that's what it meant. Like,
if you had to look at that title, what would you?
No, you literally said after discussing it. Before, when you didn't care, because you said it.
The first thing that I read again, because I haven't seen it. The first thing that I read was that this was like Holocaust denying or whatever. So that's what I was focused on. But the other thing that I read was that black people, like I was relating it to the Kanye thing, which was that black people are the true descendants of Abraham. That's the first thing that I thought.
Oh, Shem, yeah.
So like, and again, I'm approaching it from a black person myself, so I was like I didn't care. But if I'm a person who identifies as Jewish, I'd be like, what the fuck, right?
So you get it then. So black people
had
the right to be
no. So then we go back to the Kanye thing. If I'm a black person and I hear what he says, what am I supposed to think?
I was irritated.
But it's just
I said that.
Why? What makes you like to explain it? Break it down.
Because of what I read and the things that I've seen on myself outside of Black Wall Street, fucking Detroit and all that, I'm like, every time we had an opportunity to stop being slaves mentally and physically, we got stepped on. So how dare you, Kanye, being one of the prolific people in the black community?
So what you're saying, okay, I get you. So what you're saying is that the subjugation of, you took it as the subjugation of black people, he was saying was our own doing.
Yes.
Okay, I get you.
That's why these niggas.
I get you. That makes sense. That's what I was trying to hear. Like I was like, but that actually makes a lot of sense. I got you.
And it was almost like the audacity of you, nigga. Like we know who put you here for you then to turn around and say, fuck you niggas.
At the same time, at the same time, the black community was the only one that reached. Like that was the only community that was offended. Like it didn't reach nobody else. It didn't reach nobody else, and nobody was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe he said that."
Awesome.
I was offended.
All right, awesome.
I was disappointed. I was like,
but it was not. Again, it was not supposed to go this deep. But I just don't like with me. I just don't like when shit happens in the black community. It's like, who gives a fuck? Like George Floyd, Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, who out the bench. It's always the same thing, same shit. Then some shit happen in another community. Now everybody has to be outraged. And I've said that shit as legit. When black people got problems, we the only one that give a fuck. Then when everybody has problems, we have to take everybody's problem along with our own problems. And that's why I was irritated. So I'm like, now Kyrie saying some shit, now y'all outraged. Where the fuck was that outrage when other shit was going on? That's all I was saying. That, like, I understand being punished for certain things that you say because you have a moral obligation when you get to a certain standard in life. We all got that. Like, regardless, that's why I hate when rappers say, I'm not a role model. Fuck you, nigga. We created that role model in you when we put you in that position of power. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of things you do will affect thousands upon thousands, if not millions of people behind you. Lil Wayne influenced a whole fuck ton of motherfuckers out here. Niggas getting their face tatted continuously because of Wayne. You get what I'm saying?
Like it's crazy because I want to have that discussion too, but I know that shit'll take another hour.
Right.
Well, we could
save
it for really next week's podcast.
Like what are rappers' responsibility to like the people that listen to them? Like I really want.
We could talk about it next week. Next week's episode.
Dude,
with Woodcrest Certified. Episode 52.
He's censoring you, Chris.
I'm not censoring Chris. I'm just saying we could approach it next week. So that way we have more time to dive into what Chris wants to talk about.
But do everybody agree with that real quick? Yes or no?
What the fuck?
Oh shit.
With what?
With that, once you get to a certain position of power, you owe something to the rest of the world.
Somebody sneezes.
Or you at least need to be cognizant of the fact that you have that.
I would say that, yes. I don't necessarily think you owe.
Even if you don't think you owe it to them, you have to be smarter about.
Yes.
That's the fuck you do owe it to them.
Like LeBron,
they put you in that position. Without them, is no you.
That's fair enough, but you didn't ask for it. Like,
so then you should have sat your little monkey ass down somewhere and let somebody else.
Whoa,
no, I'm saying everybody.
No,
everybody's. That monkey ain't got no race or gender or nothing.
or their counter argument, like Kyrie's counter argument, would be like, no, none of you guys put me in this position. My hard work, my skill, my dedication put me in this position.
Is it though? Is it cap?
I don't think it's cap at all.
It is fucking cap, nigga. And people not sitting there watching him. Who the fuck is he playing basketball for? The air, nigga? In the woods, nigga?
He did put that work in, though.
That's what I'm saying. He put in his work to get that good thing.
I went to school to get a degree, right? I went to school to get a degree, but the military paid for it, right? My mama raised me to be an intellectual person, right? Then at the same time, a job had to hire me. Fuck, and then if I started my own business, I had to have a customer base to pay me, motherfucker. I can't do it by myself. There's not one person in this world that ever did anything by themselves. That's cap.
Well, no one said it was by himself.
Handles, though?
The argument is what's your responsibility to the masses. That's what the argument is. Like of course, like somebody had to be like, hey, you're good, come play for my team, of course. But
and we will talk about that in next week's episode 52. Catch us in that one because we're past. Nah, bro, we're just past an hour here. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta make sure that people are still locked in.
I'm telling you,
we'll catch you guys on next week's episode. I'm gonna talk over Chris.
Growing up, I thought the word
Kyrie is legit.
Comment, subscribe. We'll see you on the next episode.